What is up, everyone? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And today, the first of a new series, we are going to start doing the rundown of all my favorite projects on the top 100, plus a look at some of my hidden gem micro cap research projects, and then ending up with the memes. So we're going to run through these charts on the 1 day time frame and get a good idea of what the temperature of the market is today, starting out with the DJI at 33,288, hanging up here on a cliff, looking like it is ready to fall off with this impending stochastic crossover and a bearish MACD. Looking at the SPY at 417 at the peak, a stochastic peak here. We have several peaks where it looks like price is not getting much higher on these peaks, and now we have a crossover, and it looks like the MACD is ready to cross over and jump down into the negative territory on the histogram. DXY, this is very important right here, looking slightly bullish at 103.6 at the top of this current support resistance zone that I've had on this chart for a long time. Will it break through and find support, or will it get rejected and go back down to the bottom of the support resistance zone? We will see once this gets resolved. We have several crossovers. It looks like the stochastic does not want to make a decision on whether or not this is going to be a peak or if it's going to fall down and start to correct. Next, we've got the GBTC, BTC futures, and we are hanging out here at 14.43. I wish I would have bought it when it dipped below the blue dash line here of $8.31, but who knows? Maybe if we could get another deep correction, it might be a chance to snag some of these puppies while they are cheap. But right now we're looking at an impending crossover. We're already in the oversold zone, and it looks like the oscillators on the MACD are about to cross over and possibly come up. So we may get snatched back up to this 50 EMA line, and we might not see that much of a correction. Big brother Bitcoin sitting at 27,300 with a rising stochastic. This is looking kind of strong, and it tells me that with this impending crossover also on the MACD oscillators, as the histogram is approaching the zero line, printing light red bars, we could get a push back up to this black dash line and test it as support or resistance. What will it be? Well, it's too early to tell. We have flirted with the black dash line on the last three big stochastic surges on each of these peaks. We either touched the line, made it above it, and got snatched back down, or it was just flat out resistance. So we're going to see what happens once we cross that line. Moving on to XRP. This is the dream of many people who think that they're going to get rich when XRP hits $529 and all the world banks use XRP to transfer money. Personally, I don't get that whole argument, but at any rate, we're at 46 cents and we have a big crossover here on the stochastic right off of the peak. And it looks to me like we are going to get a correction and fall away from this 50 EMA line and maybe fall back towards the point of control price of 38 cents. We also have a crossover coming in down on the MACD as we've peaked out here with the histogram, not getting too much height on this rise, and now we're printing light green on the histogram, which says that we have a reversal in trend heading towards that zero line. So keep your eyes and we'll see, keep your eyes peeled rather, and we'll see that if we hit that 38 cents, will it be support? Will it be resistance? What will happen? Time will tell. Ethereum 1855 looking pretty strong, just like big brother Bitcoin, with a very steep stochastic moving straight up in the air as price is now poked up above the 50 EMA, looking very supportive. We also have the crossover on the MACD oscillators, and there is a little baby green tick. We've got one bar, green bar on the histogram as we're fighting above that zero line. I'm thinking that we're going to continue to kind of float up in price a little bit. I don't think it's going to just break out to the moon or anything like that, but it will probably be another boring little peak like what we've had with the past stochastic peaks, returning a little bit of a price hike, but I don't know if it's going to go to the moon. Moving right along to Litecoin. Litecoin has been sidebanding just like Bitcoin and Ethereum. We have a big crossover, but it's very indecisive because it flipped twice. So here we are at $91.47 with a slightly bearish MACD set of oscillators that look like they're going to cross over. Light green on the histogram, so this might fall out of the overbought zone. If this finally corrects, it maybe hits this sloped line here, and this becomes resistance and we start to float back down. If we can get down to 50, I might have to pick up some Litecoin. That's not financial advice, by the way. Looking at Matic at 88 cents, almost 89 cents. Everything is kind of parallel, so this tells me that this is a pretty good day on the market, because this is a very steep, almost parabolic run here with the stochastic. And notice how once, twice, 3, 4 times we tried to flip and go bearish and have a bearish crossover, but it keeps bouncing off the slow line and moving up. That says that there's some strong buying pressure pushing this thing up, and it is not ready to go down. People are buying Matic for whatever reason. We also have a crossover on the oscillators with the MACD, and we have dark green going on with the histogram rising above the zero line. So for the short term, we might be trying to fight back up to this blue support line and get our heads back above $1. AGIX had a nice little correction here, jumping down to 25 cents, but we have a bearish cross right there on the 1 day with a lackluster fast line on the MACD oscillators, where it looks like it's losing gas, it's petering out, and it wants to curl back over and cross over that slower orange line, which is also supported by the changing of the MACD's histogram bars from dark green to light green as we're approaching the zero line. So I'm thinking that we may have enough downward momentum with this movement here on the stochastic that we could retest the black dash line of support at 19 cents. Now, like a dummy, I bought a little bit of this at what, 50 cents? Learned my lesson there. Moving right along, Solana. Is it going to be so long, or is it going to rise up? Well, we do have a crossover here of the oscillators, and we have a situation of going from light or dark red to a light red bar here forming on the histogram, but this set of oscillators still kind of slightly looks bearish. The blue line is trying to curl up to try to cross over the slow line. So we might see price move up, but how much are we going to get? How much return for the stochastic peak here are we going to get, and how high will that next peak be? Well, every one of these peaks before, all it's doing is pushing it back up towards the red dash line. Each peak is just moving it up and getting rejected. This one just moved up above the 50 EMA and then rejected. This one gets above the 50 EMA, didn't make it to the red dash line, comes back down. So I'm not going to be losing too much sleep over Solana. I don't think that when this flips over and starts to move up, we're going to get much price action to the upside. Casper, we did the full video on Casper, telling you about how we failed Zone 3, the support resistant Zone 3. We fell out of yesterday or the day before. We're now at 13.6 cents with a nasty red wick coming at the bottom of this candle, and it looks like we are going to confirm a candle outside of support resistance Zone 3, confirming a continuance of this downtrend. Stochastic here looks like it's going to cross over. I don't know what this is going to do. It crossed over bearish, but we don't know the blue line and the orange line. If you can see that closely, they're kind of parallel and they're both pointing flat, horizontal. So we don't know if this is going to sink further down or come up. But the distance between the orange and the blue line on the oscillators with the MACD is getting greater. You see how that's widening? That is bearish. So in my video, and if you want to see it, go check out the previous video that I posted. I was talking about the possibility of coming down to support resistance zone number 4. that is at about 0.0099 cents. And it's looking like if we continue this bearish trend here, we're probably going to jump down and test that. And then we did some worst case scenarios on top of that. KDA, which has been looking very bearish and weak. Look at this. The stochastic's trying to crawl up. What is the price doing? Going down. That's a divergence. We do have a crossover of the oscillators on the MACD, but with this weak price action and weak volume, I don't think it's going to mean anything. Let's extend this line out here. That's the red dashed line where we kind of have a cold. We're a little sick, flu-like symptoms with KDA as long as we're below $1.60, which we're way below $1.60. And as a matter of fact, the black dash line is at the price of $1, where we're trying to fight our way back to at least start a recovery. So it looks like this is a pretty good point for accumulation for KDA. Flux, that goes along with KDA for me, is pretty weak at 48 cents. Volume is very low, and we're just losing steam on the stochastic, trying to poke back above the 20 line, failing once, and this could be the second time, but it looks like it's trying to cross over bullish here and pull up. What will it do? I don't know, but it's looking weak, and I'm not thinking we're going to see any fireworks anytime soon on Flux, as we could be approaching the red dash line. All right, IOTX, that's another one I got a big bag of. We won't talk much about it, but it's at a peak and looking like it's about to peter out. So we might be failing the 2 cents mark and headed back down pretty soon. And ACH, I should have bought a big bag of this down at 0.007. That was what, way back earlier in this year in January, and it went on this romp, like 400%. Let's just look and tell you how much you would have gained had you bought this at that point and sold at the peak. You would have made a 517% gain. Oh, that just makes me sick. So I was waiting for this to touch back down on the black dash line, which is at about 1.5, 1.6 cents, and it's not ready to do that, as it's ready to cross the 50 EMA. We had a crossover fake out, and now we're running bullish again as the MACD oscillators are on the rise and printing solid green on the histogram. Okay, let's look at a couple more, and I tell you what, I'm gonna have to wait till the next video to give you the hidden gems, the small cap gems and the memes, because this is getting a little bit long. We'll look at OMI that made a slight rebound, and we have a nasty crossover on the stochastic, which tells me that we're going to be back down here testing reverse price discovery again. This is a long-term play for me that I'm holding, and I'm not holding my breath waiting for it to bring huge returns anytime soon. The graph, and then we'll look at SHIB just for fun. It looks like the graph at 12 cents is about to take a second surge, as the blue line has just touched back to the orange line after what looked to be a rounding and a crossover. So maybe we're going to get another surge up. I had bought back in the graph at 5 cents, and I sold at this peak here. I think I sold out just above the black dash line. I think it was about 10 cents. Then of course it goes and runs to 21 cents. Go figure. So I've been waiting to jump back in and ride this one again, and it doesn't seem to want to jump back down to these bargain basement prices of a nickel for me. Now let's do SHIB, which is to me, in my opinion, this has run its course. I've got a small bag, but again, I'm not putting this one in the hope chest or holding my breath thinking I'm gonna get rich one day on Shiba Inu. Fun little meme though. We've got a crossover happening on the MACD oscillators and a steep rise on the stochastic without a steep rise in the price, which tells me this is going to be a weak pop up and we might not break out of the support resistance zone. When you look at the 1 week on SHIB, this tells the whole story. I think it's run its course. We had that opening, the big dive, and then the huge run up when it was in the news and on everybody's mind back in 2021. And since then, it's just gone to the toilet. We get these bear market rallies, and that's it. People still think that they're going to get rich, but look at this peak after the first peak, much lower high, and it jumped back down. It did a takeaway here where you have a huge candle up and straight back down, and on the next big peak, lower high, and now it's on the way down. We're at the bottom again. It has held the bottom of the support resistance zone, but I'm not looking for much on the next peak. Okay, so that's all I've got. Let me know if you like the overall market report, and I will bring you more. And this is going to be a lead into my live broadcast covering Bitcoin and more, and taking requests on looking at the charts for the alts. So that's about all I've got right now, but I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Pro channel. And if you would like to help to defray the cost of the production of these videos, you may do so with the giving of a super thanks, and I thank you in advance for your giving. Please stay tuned for the Hidden Gem Microcap Report, plus the memes. That's all for now. This is Carlton, and I am out.